is. So now the recording is on. Welcome also you who are watching this afterwards. So I will start by sharing my screen like this. And as you know, we are on our course platform. And it's already week 9. Whew, the third uh, part is sort of starting. And here we have this small agenda. And for the first, there are two Padlets. And first, we will uh, gather your ideas by brainstorm. Then let's see what kind of Finnish ideas there are, and then we will uh, see what we have learned. And I will share this address on the chat. So please enter that Padlet as well. As you know, Padlet as such, it's a free tool that you can use as a free service. You can have 3 active this kind of sort of Padlet online boards at the same time. But after that, you have to pay. And as you see, the address of this page has the name Omnia. So our college has bought a sort of college-wide license, and there is an unlimited number of Padlets available. Very good. Many teachers use these with students, of course, as well. So on this Padlet, there are 5 columns, and the idea is to take down notes here, what kind of support practices you have, either something that you already have that are existing, or something that you wish and you would need to have. And how to take down notes here. So there are 5 columns, and if in your qualifications, in your vocational qualifications, if there are some compulsory modules for the students, so on the first column you click on the plus, and you give it a headline and 1, 2, 3 sentences, a short description here, and also mark that for example, take down a note that it's, for example, existing, or whether it's a sort of needed or wished or something like that, so it's easier to discuss. So if there are compulsory modules or optional modules, then of course here, and you can always edit your own note as well. If there are some pedagogical practices by you yourself or your colleagues, take those down here, or student peer-based like digi-tutoring and such, make it here, or other means of support, whether it's equipment loans or anything else, please take down here. So at least 2 per person, I expect that we will get here, and let's see how long does it take. Just very short ones. I think even 5 minutes might be good enough, but let's see after 5 minutes what have you got there. So did you get this open, or are there some questions?
Personally, I have no question.
Yeah, please.
I don't have a question.
You don't have.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So please, you go forward and try. And you can always edit or delete, and you can just test how does it work. So this is not an exam. And it doesn't matter, even though many of you write the same, it might be there many times. You don't have to take care of that. Just a quick brainstorming. Thank you for the first one. Also, as Christopher, you are not a trainer, but you are an IT specialist and support. I think that, for example, on the other means of support, you might have very good insight of what to write there. I see that Winnie Jambi, you have joined us as well. Very glad to have you here too. So can you see the link on the chat, and please type there your notes on existing or possible methods how to support students in obtaining digital skills. Wonderful to have at least something on every column, and I expect that you could even write down more there, sort of, for example, a detail or some very specific way to have something more there. Okay, have you got something still on your mind, or should we talk about these first? I guess nobody's writing anything at the moment, so as you see that this, I can see it. I can share these uh, in real time. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So now there are 6 different kind of approaches. So think half a minute or so, and every one of you say something about some specific ways of support. There are 6 sort of sticky notes now. So pick one and tell a story or a comment or something that you would like to ask or share. So I will have a word with each of you in a moment, or something, some of those, some comment. Okay, let's see on the alphabetical order that they are in the participants list. So, Christopher, there are 6 sticky notes, and what would you like to sort of emphasize, or what is important from your point of view when supporting students with their digital skills?
Adolf. Repeat the question.
Yeah. So you see that on the Padlet wall there are 6 sticky notes now, and what is important from your point of view of these? What would you like to sort of emphasize, or what is very important to you when supporting students?
Okay, thank you. All the sticky notes are important, but the student where I can take concern and maybe a little more interest is the student peer base. We can interact in all the sections here that you have created, and I've seen this is the best. If we employ this in our institution or in our training centers, this is the best because it is very simple and explanatory. Now, the support of the student and the trainers is what I am focusing with, because without the student, trainers will not be there in digital learning. And without trainers, students will not access the resources that they require. So in my part, I see that this is a very important way to go, because online training is it's a very simple, and the students can learn wherever they are, and what they can get to the content wherever they are from the trainer. Now, the connectivity or the interlink between the student and the trainer is what I am getting interested with, because this digital learning, all the resources are available to our students. And that is what I think it is very important. And thank you for this platform. I like this. I would like to know more about how to do this, because it is very simple for the trainer and also for the trainee. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is just one way of sort of, I prefixed this format so that we have these columns. And there are other ways of using Padlet as well. And all those, what is striking is that they are very simple and straightforward and easy to understand how to work with it. So I encourage you to explore this tool further.
Yes, it is. It's a very simple. And I like this very much. Thank you for creating that.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Now, Graham, how do you see, what is something that you'd like to discuss further or emphasize on this Padlet?
Thank you very much, Esko. I think it's my first encounter with the Padlet. As far as virtual, as far as online training and such educational practices are, it's my first time to come into contact with the Padlet. And I might have encountered a Padlet somewhere, but I couldn't have known whether that was a Padlet or what. Now, according to how you've arranged them, I can say it gives a striking view of the courses that are there. And it gives the student that interactive, it is actually, the interface already is user-friendly because of the use of concretized icons. And they give a visual striking impression from a glance where a student can be able to navigate and get to what is required. I really think that I've not explored so much, but my special interest of this Padlet with our students maybe comes in with the issue of feedback. I don't know to what extent are we able to get the feedback from students once they get access to this platform. Do we have any feedback mechanism for it?
In the settings there, you can set whether it sends you sort of information whenever somebody has sort of contributed to the Padlet or not. It also can check that so there is a filter whether it's proper language or not. So full words or such can be filtered away if needed. And there are different kinds of options. As you see, I've allowed here others to comment. And if you think collaborative methods, it's very good that, for example, one team might provide, for example, this sticky note of applied science, and the others might comment. Or, for example, to use this liking button. So in order to emphasize which are more important and which are not. So whenever you are setting up a Padlet, there are different ways of doing this. And if you explore this by yourselves, it would be good to know that if you need, I can surely arrange that 15 minutes presentation how to use Padlet if needed. But then again, it's quite simple to do by yourselves. So have a look at it and then ask if you need some further explanations. Thank you, Graham. And then Vancy, how do you see, for the first, that was interesting that Padlet was new to your colleagues, and is this new to you as well? And what do you think of this content?
It's also new to me. For the first time I've seen this, and I can see it's a very nice platform for interaction where you can interact with your students frequently. You can even share whatever information you have here in the Google Classroom. I can say you can actually maneuver through navigating between different modules, and it is worth using in the current age.
And we just used text, but you can add, of course, links, photos, videos, different kinds of media here. So this was a very sort of basic use of Padlet. So there are a lot of other things to do as well. Is there something that you'd like to comment on the content, which you think that you'd like to share or discuss further?
I was asking if you can be able even to add like a small quiz there and then post to your students, and then they can give feedback again through the same platform.
So, for example, now I should be logged in. Let's just a moment. Let's see whether it's here. Now I'm as a logged in user. For example, here, sorry, this is partly now in Finnish, but the 6th column is a sort of add column, lisäsarake in Finnish. So if I, for example, link to the quiz, for example, like this, and now you see that there is a new column, and here and now let's sort of find some link there. Do I have any quiz available? Let me find out. For example, like this, I might have a link here. And now, when ready with other content, do this, and then your students would click on that link. And, well, this is in Romanian. It doesn't make any sense to you as such, but just a simple Google form, and they would do the test or feedback or whatever there would be.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's good.
And here, as you see, that I have been adding these. So, and as an administrator, I can edit all these. But for example, I can change this content, or I can just delete it in this case, like this. Or I can even delete the whole column if I feel that, okay, not needed. Yeah, very useful tool, and for free when you log into Padlet.com, I think. just a moment. Yeah, Padlet.com is the sort of the version. I'll put it there on the chat as well. So there you can do. This is one example of a Padlet that I did with my adult students for leadership courses, and on the yellow sticky notes there are some background information, and on the white background there are some sort of instructions what to do, how the day goes on, etc. Yeah, let's move forward then. Some ideas. I think that they are pretty much the ways how to support students in every country, but surely there are difference in details. So let me share some ideas how we have done it in Finland, and I try to find English-speaking resources so that they are easy for you to find. For the first, the vocational qualifications are, we have a national ministry-based database that have all the requirements. And especially the good thing is that there is an application program interface or API, so that whenever the schools use, whether it's Moodle or whatever it is, all the qualification requirements go straight to the sort of school systems, and it's very easy then, for example, to follow how the student is progressing. That's one very good strong point there. And the other is that you can find up-to-date qualifications here all the time, and not everything is in English, only those where we arrange English speaking courses or English speaking qualifications. And I'll take one example here. So the address for these pages is there on the chat as well. And let's take here the further vocational qualification in tourism services. And here you can find all the needed information. And now when we are talking about supporting students' digital skills, one thing is that already in the national qualification, this framework, there is in the composition of the qualification, there is sort of some basic information what has to be achieved for ICT as well. So here the composition of the qualification has both compulsory units and optional units. So let's see the compulsory unit. I'll click on that. And here somewhere there are different things that student has to do, and what is acceptable, what are the criteria. And here you can see that also it says students use digital tools. And here are some very basic things. Use ICT diversely as required by their tasks. And what that specifically means is that the institution can tailor what these tasks and what this ICT use is, or adeptly and independently acquire information from various sources and make comparisons between them. So once again, the institution writes in detail what this means, for example, for our students in Omnia, and then the students and the teachers, they design their teaching and training according to that, and take care that at least these kind of sort of framework things happen. So this is one way how in each qualification they are mentioned. So they are there, and then how do we see what does happen on the Omnia or the institute or the college level? So for the first, in different qualifications, there are different kind of things, but for all the vocational students, there are some compulsory units that they are to do everybody. And here I opened our Moodle, this page. I hope it's still sharing my screen. Say if it's not sharing. I'm not actually sure. Do you see my screen still?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Because I don't have the, yeah, the borderline are telling that this is shared. Okay, so this is our Moodle, and this is a sort of um, acting in digital environments is the name of the course in English. And this is something that is compulsory for all the students. This is 2 credit points. And as usual on our courses, there is some introduction on the first page and how to proceed. Some here you see present yourself or some further instructions. And here are the modules that are required. Instructions, the start, using the equipment, etc. Here, copyright things, and so forth. On the right-hand column, you see that there are these gray squares. And if I were a student, my own progress would be seen here, what assignments I have done and what has been approved. Also, who is the teacher, Minna, who is responsible for this course. So just like you, we have this kind of sort of compulsory parts, and this is on our Moodle. And then depending on the qualification or the profession, the optional parts, they vary quite a lot. And for that, we have sort of such that are available to everyone in Omnia. It might be, for example, artificial intelligence and society, or 3D modeling and printing, or immersive technologies, or a course that I was sort of in charge of creating. Let's see. Yeah. So it's XR, or sort of extended reality. What kind of virtual reality, what kind of augmented reality and such areas there are for simulations. And this is done jointly with the Applied University of Metropolia. So this is a similar course on Moodle, but what is interesting that we did a sort of template course here, and different teachers in Omnia and Metropolia can have this as a template, and they can design or modify this course to their students in different fields. So this is another example on what kind of sort of additional or optional courses we have. Then, as I think it was Christopher who very wisely mentioned that surely the students need support and help from their teachers, and in turn the teachers and trainers need support and help in order to have those competencies needed. And let me share the Teams window. So when the COVID pandemic struck a year and a half ago or so, more than a year ago, we started a specific team on Microsoft Teams. On the left hand side you see a very peculiar name in Finnish, oppiva ja osaava henkilöstö. So staff who is learning and who is competent, so to say. And from the very beginning, we arranged sort of a team of 10 experts, me included, who chose which kind of support they are giving. And it says we have this kind of general discussion board. We have sustainable development. Then ask about collaborate, resembles your big blue button. We have collaborate. Then ask about Moodle. And for example, here it's there is a session this morning on automating activities on Moodle. So those are always announced here. And during the spring, I think it was the 3 first months. Let me see if we have a, yeah, here we have a, some kind of I made a PowerPoint about that. So during the first 10 weeks, we had sessions supporting teachers and trainers on Moodle, on Teams, on Collaborate, and so forth. For example, on Padlet. And here are some numbers of the teachers. We have something like 600 of teaching staff in Omnia. And during these 10 weeks, most of those joined that Microsoft Teams environment, and very many of those attended to our support sessions, so that we had almost 2,400 people attending those sessions, meaning that each and every teacher attended to 4 sessions in average. So that was our way of arranging the support, and not only those sessions, just like we have now. Important thing was that we also have this Microsoft Teams that just died. That process, I have to open it again. So that we have this kind of environment where teachers can ask and discuss in a semi-formal or even informal way as well. Yeah. Then what else have we got? Formal national requirements, then compulsory units in Omnia, then optional units, then teacher support. Also, what we have is that in Finland there is a new legislation that all the students in primary and secondary open education, they have to get their basic learning tools from the school, and that's quite an effort. But next, up to this point, the students have bought their computers themselves, or if they weren't able to do that, the school has loaned to some very basic laptops. And from next autumn on, the school will provide each and every student an own laptop, and the teachers and trainers, they have dedicated time in their schedule in order to create new open educational resources, meaning they have to prepare and design learning material that can be used not only by them, but by their colleagues as well. Then we have this kind of digi-tutoring model. We have students that do their on-the-job learning or work-based learning period period with Omnia, and mostly those students are from ICT or media departments, but there are students from sort of more social sectors, welfare sector, etc., that are doing this kind of digi-tutoring, and they are there on the campuses, either just helping directly to their peers, to other students, or they are helping the teachers when the teachers are arranging some specific things. So this page not only tells how to reach and how to get help from those digi-tutors, but also it tells that if you'd like to be a digi-tutor, do your work-based learning period. So here is an application form for that as well. And now, as the last thing that I was to tell, where is the proper window? It might be missing. There, of course. Yeah. Some years ago, when I gave a course on educational technology, both to vocational secondary students and upper applied university students from the Oulu Applied University, I used a model called pedagogical infrastructure framework, and it has a certain model of what kind of 4 things, whether it's technology or social connections and so forth, what to think when designing and how to check whether it worked on the course. I did a small study for our university, and you might find a very interesting and easy to follow model from this PDF document. And then for the last here is, this is on our course platform surely. So there is from Sanna Vahtivuori-Hänninen, there is a presentation on how the government or the Ministry of Education and Culture saw the approach for Finland. This is a couple of years ago. Actually, I couldn't find in English the just newest version, but this might be interesting if you are comparing different kinds of models. Now I'd like to go back to the Padlet there, and to discuss with you, was there something in my presentation on the Finnish situation that differs from the Kenyan approach? What kind of things might be beneficial to you to work forward, or was it just the same but different? How do you see it?
I think it's quite okay. It can be adopted.
Was
Maybe
there
my colleagues can
May
also
I ask you directly for the first, was there something that was sort of arranged in a different way that you find, whether it's national qualifications or Omnia practices? Is there something that that was different from your practices?
Yes. There is, of course, some small difference, but not so much. Yeah.
How about Graham or Christopher? Was there something that you'd take sort of home and Was there some useful information for you?
I think the only difference that I can see is how the layout is, how the structure of the displaying, or how the structure was made in yours, which is different and very simple. But ours was a detailed one that maybe at times the student might not see it as a friendly, but this one is a friendly, and I like it. Thank you.
Thank you. Especially, I recommend, if you don't use it yet so much, is this sort of showing how the students' progress go, so that the student understands what assignments have been done and what not. So, have you got this plug in use already?
Esco, come up again.
Yeah, here, as you see on the screen on the right hand side on Moodle, here is this tool for following the student's progress, and whenever the student does some assignments and gets those approved either automatically or by the teacher, these gray squares turn into green. So I recommend that this is something that you'd install, this kind of plugin, or actually I was asking that whether you have it already installed.
Let me respond to that, Mr. Esco. Well, we are using Moodle, and we currently don't have that plugin installed, though there's a way you can actually retrieve the report of every student, whether the student has visited a resource or utilized a resource. You're able to see, even if the student has done or skipped some assignments, then you can also monitor that in Moodle. Though these are different kind of plugin, but I'm saying it still meets the same objective.
Yeah, thank you, Graham. That's a very good point, that even without that, surely the trainer sees the student's progress. I was thinking that this is one easy way for the student to see from the front page where they are and what, for example, here, what is missing from me. So I haven't done this first one, and I could click here and go see straight away and go to that assignment. So the idea is that it's an interactive way of not only sort of visualizing my progress, but seeing that, okay, I have to click on that in order to go that assignment to make it green. Yeah.
Actually, Esco, this is a good one. We will follow it. Graham should take up the initiative very soon.
Yeah. Especially when the teacher chooses to have some assignments that may be sort of assigned automatically, or there is some, for example, instructions for the student. On Moodle, you can just mark that, okay, it suffices that the student opens and reads through that page, and then automatically it shows green there, and the students knows that, okay, I have visited the right place, it's green now, then I can move forward.
Just to ask, is this Omnia, sorry?
Yep.
The Prima LMS, is it an open source or it's a purchased product?
Yeah, good question. Actually here, what you see right now is our Moodle, our own Moodle installation, and we use that with our students. But as Tuukka and me, we are actually a bit hired guns with another company that uses currently Prima LMS, this one. So that's why we are using Prima LMS with you. And Prima is a sort of a for-profit sort of to be bought and paid. So I'm not well aware about the costs, how this Prima, we just use it. Sorry.
So
Okay.
basically, is it locally tailored, or you had it open source like Moodle and then you customized? What direction did you take? Did you customize an open source software, or you developed it locally with the team?
Do you now refer to Moodle or Prima LMS?
Prima.
Okay, Prima. Yeah, Prima. It's a sort of.
Yes.
It's a sort of. It was. I think the organization that here in Finland arranges this UNESCO UNEVOC mentoring program is called OEP, Omnia Education Partnerships, co-owned by Omnia, and they have some kind of deal with the vendor of this Prima LMS, and it was a quite sort of basic as such, just like Moodle. And I think all of these LMSs, they are very, very basic ones when you first see them. And surely we have tailored what kind of what kind of pieces there are available, or what kind of color schemes, how the arrangement on screen goes on, etc. So actually, with Tuukka, we have done some planning for this actual course. Prima is very simple actually to use. The only thing that I'm not very satisfied is how the discussion boards work. And for the next time when I will use Prima LMS, I will ask them for a sort of more instructions, whether it's this simple, or is it just that I have missed some information. But that's why the discussion boards haven't been so useful there in our installation. But it's simpler than Moodle. It's sort of straightforward, and it's easy to understand what is where. And with Moodle, you have so many bells and whistles everywhere. So that the first thing with Moodle is that you have to get rid of sort of some unnecessary things. Hey, now unfortunately, I promised to, we have an internal meeting I have to go on that started a while ago. And next time, let's have most of the session to discuss your projects and your needs and your sort of situation with Moodle. And now, as you are doing those very novel things with your new learning environment, it would make sense that you would report that to this program that we have. So you would have a sort of an official diploma for your work from Finland. It might be beneficial whenever you apply new job or new positions. So I think that this might be a good opportunity to you as well. So let's talk that next time. I will stop sharing and stop recording as well right now. Thank you.